Hey my dudes, Raven of Ash here. So I wanted to make a video about how to carry your team in Gambit while playing solo. I wanted to get Malfeasance and the second infamy reset for that sweet curated bad omens, and I didn't have a team. Most videos on YouTube about Gambit are from a 4-stack perspective. I wanted to make something for the people that play solo. And now let me tell you, playing Gambit without a team is hard. However, not all of us have the luxury to have a team. That's because some of us like to play alone or don't have a regular schedule to play, have kids, work, etc. That does not mean it's impossible to win Gambit matches while playing solo, far from it. Yes, it is grindy, yes, sometimes you will be destroyed by a well-coordinated team. But you can, by yourself, win a good amount of matches if you play your cards right and if your team is not abysmally bad. The most straightforward way you can make a difference is by becoming a PvE juggernaut and gather those modes faster than anyone. However, a lot of players that play Gambit are good PvEers and can gather modes as fast as you can or just a little bit slower. I feel that I was not doing that much of a difference by going all out on the PvE. The thing is, while some Gambit players are good at PvE, not that many are good at PvP, and specifically at invading. Invading in Gambit and doing it well can do a huge difference in your match. It can win you a lot of games, even if your teammates are not good at the game. So I've decided to share with you guys my solo Gambit strategies. So first of all, my loadout. On the primary slot I use my bygones. This weapon is a PvE and PvP workhorse. The roll I have on it is extremely good in my opinion. It has a strong emphasis on range. It has range masterwork and opening shot on top of its solid range stat. Outlaw makes it very good for always having a fresh magazine and to keep downtime low. Because Gambit maps are usually long range maps, I recommend pulses. Scouts are better for long range invading. Hand cannons are better for lower range PvP, but pulses are very good at all ranges and for both PvP and PvE. On my energy slot, what a surprise, the Icolos. Best legendary weapon in slot for PvE, period, because of the trench barrel perk. No reason to have any other weapon than that. Although not godly in PvP, it is very serviceable, especially as the energy ammo economy in Gambit is less stingy than in regular PvP. Dumping 3 or 4 shots on a PvP target usually gets the job done even at big ranges. On my power slot I have the Queenbreaker. This is the best weapon for invading in Gambit, period. It's a linear fusion rifle on steroids. It has crazy bullet magnetism. You only need to shoot around shoulder height with this one and you will get a kill. I am unsure if this one will get a nerf in the future, as it's very strong. It does have one drawback though, which is range. In the longest sightlines on some of the Gambit maps, its accuracy will drop quite a bit. Also, compared to Sleeper, it's not very good for killing PvE and it's a 2-shot body shot kill against enemy guardians. It's an invader weapon, not an all-purpose one like the Sleeper before the nerf. Other options for the power slot are the 1K voices, any other linear fusion rifle, Sleeper or Thunderlord. This said, I don't like the 1K voices for invading for several reasons. The charge time is huge, the continuous beam makes it hard to quickly go into cover, and there is not a clear indication about when the weapon is about to fire. The huge charge up takes some time to get used to. Sleeper on the other hand has had a big nerf to aim assist and ammo economy. Only 2 ammo for brick and a longer charge time than any other linear fusion rifle makes me not want to go for it. As for Thunderlord, I feel it is quite bad for long-range engagements, at least on console, as a recoil is not easy to manage at longer ranges. Also, although its TTK is fast, you will be exposed while gunning down a Guardian, leave you open for retaliation from the rest of the enemy team. I think there are much better alternatives for this game mode. If I'm not using the Queenbreaker, I will use legendary linear fusion rifles, and I settle on the Year 1 Tarantula. Why the Tarantula? Because it has a boatload of range. On my Year 1 fixed roll Tarantula I have 78 range. This is much better than the Queenbreaker at 55 and the Crooked Fang, a popular alternative that maxes out at around 50. As most engagements will take place at range, I prefer the Tarantula. That said, you will need to be much more precise with any linear fusion rifle when compared to the Queenbreaker, because of its crazy bullet magnetism. As for subclass, I always run top 3 Night Stalker with the Orpheus rig. By rapidly getting my super back, I am able to make a big difference for my team. I can clear a wave of adds with the super or tether the Primeval and Envoys when they spawn and instantly get my super back. Do you complain about that blueberry that wastes his blade barrage against the Primeval at the moment your Primeval spawns? Well, the tether will make it share that damage with the Envoys. Some people say, shouldn't you wait for the opposing team to invade before using your super? Yes, I agree, but not with the tether, as I will get it back instantly even if I'm killed. Also, don't forget that blueberries will do whatever they want, and a lot of them won't care about the envoys or an impending invasion and go straight for the boss. Also, and this is not a small matter, dodging into invisibility is very strong in the PvE part of Gambit. I very rarely die while having modes. Getting damage, I just disappear and get my health back, while the PvE just stands there. This also allows me to be super aggressive and getting close with the Icos if I want. If there is another Tether Hunter on my team, I might change my subclass to a Raiden Flux mid-3 Arc Strider or swap for a Way of 1000 Cuts Gunslinger. I will also sometimes play with the top 3 striker with unsurmountable Skull Fort, but I don't do it often. As for armor, I have Special and Heavy Ammo Finder. By the way, I'm not sure about the effect of any of these perks on Gambit. I also carry 2 Shotgun Scavenger perks and a Linear Fusion Rifle Reserves perk. In order to invade, it is important to have power ammo. It's not necessary, as we'll see in a while, but it's heavily advised. So when the round starts, I proceed to the first PvE spawn area and clear mobs until I have 5 to 10 modes. Then I go to the bank, deposit the modes and shotgun any enemy blockers. At this time, heavy should be spawning in about 10 seconds. I wait for the heavy and then I will proceed to the next PvE spawn and get about 5 modes. I will always keep an eye on my teammates whenever we are getting near the invasion portal opening threshold in order to secure the invasion. This said, I want to stress that being an invader does not mean you don't acquire modes. Although collecting modes comes second to invading, it is crucial that you help your team collecting those extra modes whenever you are not invading or killing enemy invaders. For me, the first invasion of any match is the most important one for 2 reasons. First of all, you are trying to show your blueberry teammates that you are the invader. If you get killed under 5 seconds with no kills, they will think that they can do better and will invade themselves, even if they don't have power ammo, and usually they will be killed fast. This is very bad, as it will lead to uncertainty about who is collecting modes and who is invading. This can break a team right then and there. This said, if anyone on my team snags the heavy ammo before me and invades successfully, I will not invade for the rest of the match and focus on collecting modes as fast as I can. That dude becomes the guy that I will trust to invade on our behalf. I want to win the match, not compete for the most kills. The second reason why that first invasion is so important is that you need to put the fear of God into the other team fast. If you wipe the entire team, the next invasion will be much slower because they will very likely hide in cover and you can delay them for 30 seconds while getting a safe kill or 2. Also, invading well on the first invasion will bolster your team morale. I know my morale goes up whenever an invader on my team pulls a good invasion. Besides this, whenever you invade a team that you have killed repeatedly, some of them will just give up or just do everything in their power to kill you. You are in their heads now. They are not thinking about winning, just in killing you. Making the other team lose focus and getting under their skin is the key to being a good invader. As a self-proclaimed invader of my blueberry team, it is also my task to get rid of invaders fast and efficiently. The only exception to this is if my own portal is open and my teammates are thinking of invading. It will depend on the situation, if I face the invader or if I invade myself, namely if the enemy team is gathering a lot of modes without depositing them. Now, an invader can only spawn at the 3 PvE locations, and usually never at the one that currently has PvE enemies, so that leaves the invader with only 2 possible locations to spawn. As soon as an invader spawns, I will scope out those 2 locations in order to kill him fast and protect my team. Should you invade when you don't have power ammo while playing solo? It's not the ideal situation, of course, but I think you should. A reasonable PvPer with no power ammo is better than a bad player with power ammo, in my opinion. Also, your team will see you as the invader, because if you invaded before, they will think that you will invade again, and will be confused if you don't. So just invade and do the best you can. Draw the invasion out, hide, play passive. I usually end up with a kill or 2, and that's not a bad invasion, especially if they were carrying a good amount of modes. It goes without saying that if you are in a fire team, just tell your teammates that you don't have power ammo and ask for someone else to invade. Power ammo is, in my opinion, first for PvP, invading and fending off invaders, and second for the envoys and primeval. It is never for killing ads unless the situation is absolutely desperate. A dude hogging power ammo from the box instead of me and invading is okay. What it's not okay is getting that ammo for your Warcliffe coil and killing ads for modes. That's just wasting it, and it pisses me off when I see my teammates doing that. Finally, let's look at some invasions while I try to explain what I'm thinking when I go in. Now I slowed down the footage a little bit because I want to address several things here in the beginning of the invasion. So whenever I invade, the first thing I look out for is the positioning of my opponents. I want to have the whole team in front of me because I don't want to get flanked. Now this is something a lot of dudes do whenever they get invaded. They jump up and they max up their jump height. Don't do that. that makes you stand out like a sore thumb. Now I notice that this guy is scoping me out, so I go to the other side of the box. This is because if he peeks again, he will be looking to my farmer position, and I know exactly where he's gonna pop out because I have wall hacks and he doesn't. Like in regular PvP, don't pop out when a sniper is scoping you twice. You can do it once, but don't do it again. Find another angle. Again, this dude decides to jump, and he's an easy kill. Now this dude uses a sleeper, and this has been happening a lot since the nerf. The sleeper is much more inaccurate, so you really need to put effort in your shots. I've seen a lot of shots with sleeper missing, and so you really need to think if you want to run that gun in Gambit. Now backtracking just a little bit, this shot was very bad, but this one I think it was a good shot, and probably I would have hit that shot. But the Queen Breaker, as I've said before in the video, has some issues at range. It becomes a little bit inaccurate, so I've decided to keep one shot instead of using my last shot, because I know that I will get a second invasion and that shot might be important. So I go back into my teammates' world, and I notice that we're still on a mode deficit, so I pop my super. I let him take the rest of the modes, and then I invade immediately again. So now the idea is to be super aggressive because they cannot be near the primeval in order to shotgun him or to further damage him. I was confident in making this play right here because I know that this guy has no idea where I am. His radar is full of red dots because he's very near the primeval and the envoys, and so I just shoulder charge him, and now I need to put some pressure on the enemy team. Now the idea to close out the gap, because I don't have power ammo, is to follow the trolls, because that will mask my approach. And then I throw a pulse nade off, and I kill this guy with the pulse rifle, and another dude ends up dying from the pulse nade. At this point, when I go back to my world, my teammates manage to take out the primeval, taking advantage of the catch-up mechanics of Gambit. So this was a cool invasion against a 4-stack. One thing that's important for an invader is to know how far your opponents are, and notice that this guy is moving faster than all the other dudes that are to the right. That means that he's closer than the other guys. Usually the faster they move, the closer they are to you. So I managed to get my scopes at his head level and take the shot. Now, this dude was really a lucky shot, only possible because of the Queen Breaker. His bullet magnetism, because this would be a really hard shot to do with any other weapon. Now I decide that I want to go to their spawn, and this was the first guy I killed, so I decide to go in super aggressively because I'm thinking that this guy won't be expecting me, and then I managed to get the shotgun kill. And now I decide to dodge because I know that I had to be facing the other way. I didn't know the dude had a sleeper shot trained on me, but this is something I also do in PvP because we cannot turn on a dime on PlayStation, so dodging and facing the other way is really good. And then I get the Queen Breaker double body shot, one before the pillar and one after the pillar for the 4-piece. And this invasion, their primeval is almost dead. That's why I shoot a tether in order to push them away from the primeval. And I have to be super aggressive, and I jump on the primeval platform because I want them to see me and try to kill me in order for them not to shoot the primeval. And I'm just trying to get my team some time, and my team manages to kill the primeval, our primeval first. Now I would like to hear your thoughts on invasions. What are your strategies and loadout? Also, do you guys play Gambit solo or go in only with the team? Anyway, I hope this video has been useful for at least some of you guys. Thanks a lot for watching. Raven out.